Welcome aboard to another incredible episode. And today we have the most beautiful soul, Laura Sonntag, if I have done that any justice, or Laura Sonntag, if I was to just go pure Australian. And Laura's background is as a massage therapist and a body worker, and she's just a new yoga teacher at the moment, teaching in Hatha and Vinyasa. So congratulations to you, Laura, there. I know it's a huge accomplishment, not only to get that piece of paper, but to actually just go through the training itself, which is, it's more intense than I think some people realize. So she's on her journey to become an embodiment coach and also has a bachelor in psychology too. So I can see that you're also a fellow eternal student, which is something that I just absolutely admire in souls. And it's probably why we connected really in the first place, is that, you know, you're forever learning of new ways to share your story and of new ways of communication. So with that, I'm going to let you come in, tell your story of how you got to be where you are, and why in particular you've chosen all of the modalities that you have chosen so far.
Oh, wow. It's a long story, but I don't know where it begin. I always been in love with the body. And the reason why I'm born with a body. And in the past year, I began to dive deep inside the embodiment field. And it hit me really, I think, a month ago to realize most people are not in their body. And it totally blew my mind to realize that, because to me it don't make sense. If you're not in your body, where are you? So yeah, I began with massage because it was the easy thing I have around. I was from the countryside in France, so we don't have a lot of things going on, no class, nothing, so massage was my way. This is how I moved to Quebec in Canada. I was studying in psychology, and I have the possibility to do an internship in Quebec. So I took the plane for the first time in my life, the day of my 21st birthday, for immigrants. Yeah, I've been 8 years now. So it's a good trip. At the end, massage were interesting year. So I extend my travel for a year. I met someone who told me, let's go on the road. And I went backpacking for all year between West Coast Canada, California. I end up in Peru because my best friend was in internship in Buenos Aires. And we said, let's go Machu Picchu together.
Wow, you've done it all. You've done all the spiritual spots.
Yeah, but I was not spiritual at all at the time. I was just go with the flow of life. I was making a friend, say, oh, let's go do that. And yeah, I think this is my strong suit. I just say yes to opportunity.
I
like
love
today.
that. Exactly. It's exactly why you're here right now. Like, I find it such an interesting thing when people talk about the body too, because I really, really have that obsession with, I just find people so interesting, and we all have such different structures and the way that we're kind of made up to be our unique self. But I'm curious as to really how you blend that in your work, because often, even in psychology and yoga, they talk about trying to I don't know, there's different perspectives of whether you're trying to get out of your body and into your mind, or whatever it is. So where do you sit with that, and how do you teach all of the work that you do in terms of incorporating both yoga, psychology, and embodiment into their body, but not getting them so consumed in it just being a body, if that makes sense?
I still try to figure out how to teach that, actually. I had a really good training in bodywork, was a deep flow with Milena Bergeron. She's a nomadic soul who ended up buying an house on the beach in Salvador, surfing most of the time and teaching some other day. And she already made a big blend between bodywork, yoga, with this surfing something, yogic something, and with a big nomadic something. So she's one of my major influence on this field. To me was when I took the training with her, I felt like I had a gem to give to the world because she made me understand better how I work, my postural work, my alignment, and what it means about me. And I was, okay, but how to teach that to people? First client I saw the next month, I was so excited. I was, okay, try to do that. But if you try to say more than one thing to change in a life, people just freak out. Okay, first feel, come back in 2 weeks. So it's more give some tips and understand where the person is. Some people I say, okay, how do you sit in your chairs? They don't even feel that. And some other people, you can really go, okay, where is your neck? And go deeper on the spine. And okay, where is your breathing? It's more understand where people are, but more I go deeper in my work, more I'm interesting people who come my way. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm ready to learn that thing. So all to blend all of it. It's very one-to-one.
It says it all though, like what you just said before, of when you dive deeper into your own practice and even embarking in your own journeys or adventures, whether that's in travel or whether that's through your practice, you naturally draw in the people who are needing to learn from you at that time. So it's always quite interesting how students can, come into your life and then they can leave, or you outgrow people at different times, right? And I imagine that you've done that yourself. Like you seem like someone, like you said, who says yes and who goes with the flow. So who have been your teachers up until this point? I know you just mentioned one, but I'm sure you've had quite a few that you draw on at different times, and it doesn't just have to be yoga.
Oh yeah, so many teachers, and even in university, I have so much influence. And everyday people, like I'm the kind of person you sit on a bench and have a talk with the next person seated next to me and have a conversation with them and just, okay, who are you and what's your thing? This is on my client inspire me so much because they always have a story and something to learn, and everyone have something. It's why you have your podcast too, I guess. I have teacher, my teacher in yoga, it's a yoga Sharya. She's called Sylvie Tremblay. Yes, she keep her real name because she go across the old tradition, she go in the shamanic tradition, she's the whole package, so deep in the tantric tradition.
Yeah.
What I love with this woman, she's so humble. She have a big background, big spiritual experience, and fucked up story. But when she's just a woman with trouble with her husband, with her child, and she brings the whole package of tantric life. And this is so inspiring.
Isn't it? Like hearing people's story in general, it's like, I think we can get so caught up in labels or just going, oh, Laura looks like she's got it all together, but you seem like someone who I would also chat to on a bench or on the bus or something, and it'd be like, let's be friends and let's hang out forever. But yeah, we literally do not know the stories behind like what some people are carrying, and I find that always like such a humbling moment where it gives you perspective when you ask about someone else's story and you go, wow, I thought my day was bad, or I thought my life was bad or good or whatever it was. But it gives you this like leverage to look at them and go like, wow, they're still smiling, they're still turning up. And like you said, your teacher has problems at home or problems with their kids, and they're still able to turn up as a really beautiful and compassionate human. So I'm sure that's something that you want to embody yourself if you don't already. Like, where do you see yourself going with all of the work that you're doing?
Um, hmm. I love the identity question because I feel like I have been in identity crisis my whole life. Don't feel like I fit in. I was not belonging where I am. I I immigrant by myself at 21, moved place to place, and I feel lucky of of this life because I had the chance to ask myself so many questions and test so different part of myself. Like I arrived in British Columbia in hippie mode in a car, sleeping in a tent for a few months, take one shower in 3 months, literally, sleep one times in a bed. So
Yeah.
it was my dirty hippie mode, and I ended up in California, party with in the Silicon Valley with meeting the guys who manage all Google traduction in the taco bar at 4 a.m. in the morning, and have a chat with these guys. And my friend who was working for the NASA and for Google and for Facebook, just hanging out with people who just fucked up life. And like, yeah, they're just normal people.
I love that. It's like, I thought this was going to be so much more like centered around, and this is what I love about just going with the flow, like we were saying before, because I can read the things that you do, or I can see photos and read stories, but it's until you get that person really speaking their own story that like your true essence comes through. And what I get from you is that you just have a huge desire to like network and connect, and to connect to people on literally every single level of life. It's like, there's no discrimination. And I think that actually kind of sums up embodiment. Like it's a combination of not just one thing. It's like all things psychology, or all things play, or all things horrible, and all things trauma, and all things love.
Totally. Yeah, everyone is traumatized in some way, and everyone has something magical about them. I can hang out in homeless in the street and have a really good time and fun time, as much I hang out with people who was really important and leader in their field and it's kind of thing. They're just human. And we forget that. I have the chance. I work downtown Montreal, so it's a lot of office around. And that's my last client tonight was PDG on a big, a big company. But he came, he was just, I have pain in my knees. So when I have sex with my girlfriend, I have pain, and we can have as much sex as I want. These guys have a big million company, and his only problem is he can't have sex how he wants with his wife, his partner. So I always have this question, just what's your problem? And everyone has the same problem.
Yeah.
If they want belong, they want love, and everyone have an interesting story to tell, and everyone is worried to not be enough for people, and everyone is worried for the same thing. We just all want to belong. And with all pandemia, I see so many people just lock themselves in their story, and it will be tough to go out for most people. And I'm sad for that. We are packed animal. We are made to be together. And today we forgot that. We forgot a part of your humanity. It's so sad.
I just want to give you a big hug. You're just like the sweetest thing. Like, I don't know. Because I'm like, have you ever felt like not enough, or did you grow up in a family where you really did have a healthy sense of loving yourself? And like, what are your practices to give back to you so that you can give all of the beautiful energy that you do for your clients and all of the random people that you come into interaction with? How do you fill your own cup?
Um, I'm the youngest one of my family, so I always felt weird in my family. But I have been bullied when I was child. But I remember recently that when I was 8 or 9, been really sad why people didn't like me. But I have this reflection: if I have to be perfect to be loved, I will be perfectly imperfect. They just don't deserve me, and I will look for people who will deserve me and like myself. I was 9. What the fuck I think about that?
What? You little old soul.
But I take good care of myself. I was in a bad relationship since I break up last summer, and since that I was just in full time taking care of myself, seeing a therapist, doing yoga, meditate, see some friend, and I just like spend time alone and take my baths, do my oiling my skin, and I just love life. I don't know. I do when I'm bored, I do shit, and if I don't want to do anything, I do nothing. I don't know. That's natural for me. I have so many people around me just, you're too positive. Why do you do that? I don't know. Why be negative? You have enough grumpy people in life.
I think it's about surrounding yourself with the people who like raise you up. Because I've definitely copped that. Why are you so happy all the time? It's like, I love that you say, I just love life. And like, we don't need a reason or an excuse. It's like, no, I'm literally just high on life. Like, it's so good. There's so many opportunities, and we can both understand that there are things going on all the times that, aren't great. And we're not speaking to that you have to be smiling all the time, but really like just the opportunity to have breath and to have to like have your arms and your limbs at this stage, like both of us have that, and the ability to communicate is like, wow, there's people out there with all sorts of crazy stories that are still doing amazing things and not making excuses. So if we can continue to raise the energy up, like within ourselves, it's just going to spread to the people that we continue to surround ourselves with, or who get drawn in. And I can almost guarantee that's why your relationship probably went its separate ways, because your energy was at a different level to where his was. Do you know what I mean? And it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just like, well, I just need to respect myself enough, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, totally. You won't watch Netflix every night? I want to go for a hike in the mountain, catch the sunrise every day.
Right. We totally would be friends / already are, but yes, you're so my girl. What does your daily practice look like for you? Because you strike me as loving variety, so I'm sure it probably looks a little bit different each day. How do you tune into that?
Actually, I really tried to have an hour on the morning was more a ritual, because if I don't do in the morning, I don't do anything during the day. I'm really proud of me. It's my fifth week where I run 10 to 15 minutes every morning. Yes. Why running? Because for me, it's the most boring and useless activity on the world. So I decide myself, if I can do that every day a little bit, I will be more willing to do boring things in my everyday life. Embodiment principle, do an activity to develop yourself. After that, I just meditate maybe for 20 minutes each, have some movement, yoga, training. So I have quite an hour and a half every day.
Yeah.
But I'm bicycling for a season as a way of moving around Montreal city. So in summer, it's 20, 30 Celsius degree. Yeah. In winter, it's minus 20 degrees Celsius. So it's a big adventure.
Maybe going for like a 3-hour run, just to
fucking way. Running is boring.
I know. I'm so there, but I love that you said that, because we do need to harden up. Like, we need to embrace the parts of like life that suck as well. So if you can actively put yourself in a situation where you're like, this is crap, I hate this, like, really, like, you get to the end of it, I'm sure there's going to be a point where you kind of go, oh, like, I kind of enjoyed that run, even though if you don't like the running itself, you might have enjoyed the scenery or like the person that you came across. You know what I mean?
I'm starting already, and like I do at 6:30, 7 in the morning. The city is quiet. I have just few other runner. I have the guys playing soccer in the park. So it's really fun. I mean, to really enjoy it. Even the feeling, because the first 4 weeks I was, oh, I don't like it. The rest this week I begin to enjoy it. And it took 6 weeks to change an attitude and 3 months to really rewire your brain and all this thing. So yeah, but it sounds really well a day.
Like, do you put that kind of message across as well to your clients and your students, like to really have that consistency too? Because we know how much having a disciplined approach to anything that you do, whether it is yoga poses or whether it's running, to actually notice the effect that it has in your life. Or like, if you miss a day and go, oh, I really miss that, I can see how my day didn't shape up because I skipped it. Like, is that the sort of message that you put out there to them as well?
What I tell them most of the time is take 30 seconds, 1 minute to do something a little bit every day, every time you think about it. Because I have busy people, and busy people always have 1,000 excuses to not do anything. Yeah. So I tell them, if you can take a minute, do one squat, one jumping jack, 1 minute dance on your favorite music, anything. It's already an improvement if you do nothing. Yeah. And I tell what I do. This is my way of doing. I do what I want people to do. So I've said, oh yeah, I just began to run every morning. I ate it, but it's really fun. And today a client was like, oh, when you told me that, I began to try to do it. So just once or twice a week, but I began to do it. So I don't think we can help people to change and to evolve if we don't do it ourselves. So I'm the example, what I want to do, and I totally understand you don't have time, you don't have energy, and you don't want to do everything I do. It's time consuming, but I don't have a partner, I don't have kids, I live by myself. Yeah. I don't have big responsibilities. This is my life gifts. It's the life I made for myself. But I'm really in a reducing waste movement. So don't buy with paper and this kind of stuff, but it's organization the same way. Mm-hmm. I understand it's more expensive to buy organic and this kind of stuff. I understand you don't have the budget and you don't have the time, or you are not willing to do so. But I will show you it's possible. And you will see how happy I am, and you will want to be like me. This is my secret weapon.
You're totally the example. Like, I think embodiment also just means being the example, which, you know, you're embodying the qualities that you're trying to, or that you do teach. And it's like, even if it's not in a session, it's like you're just putting out there all of this awesome energy. And like, I know that people would just get drawn to you. I'm sure that's why you've probably got like 1 million friends that, you know, you might not even have them on your phone or on social media, but I'm sure you've come across so many random souls in your life that's like, gosh, it's so exciting to have that curiosity, I guess, and love of life. And it just helps you turn up to be really, really vibrant and to keep putting the work in. And like you said, with time, so that's such a pain point for people. They go, I don't have time. And it's like, we could all say that, but if you don't actually make time to schedule in, even if it's a minute, then of course you won't have time. You'll fill it with something else. There's so many things that we can fill our time and our minutes and our seconds with. So yeah, it's lovely to see that you really schedule in the time for you and that you stick with your morning routine, because you know yourself that well that if you don't, then the rest of the day's gone. And yeah, you kind of go, what did I do? How did all that happen today?
Yeah, exactly. Now schedule is my best friend. If it's not in my schedule, I don't do it. But now I have a new trick. I leave prop everywhere in my apartment like that. Every time I see a prop, I try to do something. So I playing with handstand for those days. So I was, okay, I see my block, I try a handstand, just one, and I do something else. And everything is a choice, every single thing. You can choose to don't make the choice, but life will make it for you or someone else.
Yeah.
We build our life. So what do you want to do with your life? That's it.
Yeah.
If you don't make the choice, someone else will make it. I was talking with my
people don't know that answer to that question, right?
Mm-hmm. They don't know what they want. I am in a world where you have a lot of artistic, big scene, artistic scene, and most people just work something to go make music after that, to go party, to go paint in their side life.
Yeah.
But you can make your life around that too. And when I was backpacking, I was in what I effectively call the vortex, because it's the hippie vortex in North America. Some Australians on this one, some French too, and people from all around the world. It's you go walk in British Columbia, cherry picking, fruit picking, picking mushroom in the north. After that, you go south, spend all your winter in Mexico, Guatemala, and this kind of stuff. Go back house for a month and go back in the vortex. Go cherry picking all summer between March or April to September. Go back, spend your winter doing circuit, jungle, poi, fire, polling, and you go back again and again. And I've had so many people who did that for years. It's exciting. It's a perfect life for some people. If you don't want be safe and have a house and child, all this kind of stuff, it's a good life.
Yeah.
But
and
they
you can
make
your life again, yeah, like you said, it's a choice. It's how you want to live your life. Your life isn't going to be the life that everyone wants, or can, they might not have the means, or they might not be single without a partner with that ability to just kind of move and be free. But again, like everything really does come down to a choice, and it can look a little bit different, even if you want similar things out of the life that you live. It's like you can still bring excitement into your life, you can still bring freedom in, but it might not look like traveling for work. It could just be, again, scheduling in time to go for a holiday or time to go for a big adventure at some point in the year. And yeah, it's really cool. What is the most random thing and coolest experience you've ever had?
Oh wow, I have no idea. Sometimes I think about it. It was the most fun and weird. I think I know what the weirdest thing I did. Do I want to say that on a podcast? My 24-hour in Portland. I was just in a bad bread cup, and I was traveling with a friend who smoked a lot of weed.
Mm-hmm.
But I was keeping the bag, and I talked randomly with someone. So this is the day I smoked crack without noticing it. So I was fucking nowhere, smoking with someone. It ended up to be something I don't expect it was. That was a weird night. On the same night, or right share, just fell on us to a second one too. So we were 10 p.m. in Portland Street. I have no idea what to do. Mm-hmm. So we end up sleeping in a homeless shelter. So this is my 24-hour in Portland. It's quite a weird one.
Wow.
But a few weeks after that, I was in a penthouse in San Francisco partying.
You're such a
This is
paradox.
why.
It's like, it's so bizarre, like how much can happen. It would have almost felt like the 24 hours didn't even happen, or you'd be like, literally, was that life, or did that even, I'm not even sure how to word it. It's like, I'm so confused.
Exactly. Or I end up in Mexico in January because a friend just asked me, "Do you want to join me for Mexico in middle of a pandemic?" Was an online friend. I never met him, and I was, "Oh yeah, sure, let's do this." And we end up lost in the jungle because we were meeting some friend, only walking for go somewhere else. And when we were chatting, and was we knowing where we were. A big car, kind of Hummer, yellow, but not really, stopped by and said, "Oh, do you want a ride?" We said, "Yeah, sure, let's go on the ride." Really handsome, fancy guy, cute, really perfect English. And he was, "Oh, what do you do here?" I was, "Oh, we were some friends who go back to the city." And you, "Oh, we were catching something for the party tonight." "Oh, cool. What kind of party?" "Oh, it's a secret party. If you want to come, we can send you a car." And I was like, "Oh, no, it's okay. We have other plan." We got out of the car. It was, "Do you just have be checked by a cartel guy in the middle of the jungle in Mexico?" Yes. Yep.
Only Laura would be able to pull off this story, right?
I have so many little stories this way. I said yes, and I take right and not left, and I end up somewhere. This is life. Well, you can have a plan and go straight where you want to go, and you just say hi to the person next to you and make a new friend. And this is how I like life. It's why I end up. Go ahead.
No, you go.
It's why I end up breaking up my. I'm in divorce process, and this is why I end up this relationship. Is why someone proposed me to go in adventure, and I feel I can't say yes because he will never understand why I want to go in this adventure. So when you are with someone who don't understand what lights you up, why do you stay here?
Yeah.
So this is, I spent 3 years in my life really be bored, and I was okay. No, enough. Time for a new adventure.
And this is where like relationships and understanding where friendships and stuff really work, is when we understand the basic need of the other human. So it's like there's certainty, variety, significance, love and connection, growth and contribution. And if like your partner or whoever you're around doesn't respect your need for uncertainty and variety, then it's like, you know, they're going to be trying to draw you into their world of certainty perhaps, and it's like that's never going to work for somebody like you. You're going to push against that. But if you can be around people who are embracing your gypsy soul and your free spirit, then you're going to be probably more committed and loyal to those people who actually like let you roam and let you be free. Whereas it feels like it's putting a monkey in a cage when, you know, someone like yourself who's so beautiful and open, to be told like, no, you can't do that. It's like, oh, you're either one going to rebel or that relationship is never going to work.
No, you can try to do so for a little while, but
yeah,
I saw my friend 2 years ago, or still in this relationship, and my friend looked at me and said, you're off, you're not there, you're not the person I know. What's happened?" And that was really a big call for me. It was, okay, what's going on? This is all I get in yoga training and this kind of stuff, but more I go in my yoga training, more the relationships break in some way. So yeah, but today I'm really happy with the people I have around me because I know whatever I do, they will be there for me. And this is important. If you don't trust people around you to love whatever you do, whatever you think, whatever you change, they're really your friend and your loved one.
What did you
These
learn
have
from
been.
that relationship though? Like in terms, did you feel like having clarity, maybe moving away? Do you feel like there was an element that really grounded you by having that relationship, or was there anything in there that like helped you develop routine or stability, or was it like nothing really serving you and a very were you in like a lost place as to why you stuck at it for so long, or that you just didn't really know who you are or what you wanted?
I didn't really know at the time. To me, I was stopping backpacking and I met these guys and I fell deeply in love. And our move was I had to go back to France and we were madly in love. And it was, oh, let's get married and be together and do your immigration thing. And my romantic soul was, oh, yeah, this is the most romantic move I can do. Sure. And for me, it was a new adventure. I was, okay, I had fun. It's time to settle down. And I love Montreal. I want to stay there. It will be two birds on a stone. And at the end, it was fun the first 2 years.
Yeah.
And time passed and I was something, I get bored and it's comfortable. I don't like being in this profoundly comfort zone. And he was beginning to talk to me about buying an apartment and our friend around us began to have kids and this kind of stuff. There was, whoa, no fucking way I have kid with you. I'm sorry, but I feel you already take too much of my energy. I don't want to do that. When I have opportunity, I was always, oh, let's go in adventure, let's go and travel, just take a cabin and go somewhere. And we never did one thing. In 4 years, we never did anything, just the both of us. Nothing. We went in France, spent a week in Paris, and visiting my family in Strasbourg. And his parents was with us. I love his parents. It was very fun to have them, but was supposed to be a trip for us. So when you have all this little thing, when I don't know, my romantic soul was, I don't marry this guy. I marry the adventurous way of being. Just get us the fly to get married and be together and have fun and life take over. Never have time for nothing and never be on the same beats. And he was working more late on the night and I was more. I try, and this is so sad because I literally immigrate for this guy.
Yeah.
And I ended up divorcing in the middle of the pandemic, in the middle of fucking nowhere, in another country, and lost all my main network because my main network was his family and his friend. And today I have 5 friends I see regularly and are really deep to my heart. And most of my family and other friends and all of I will try my best to make it work and try again and try again and again and end up sad and don't feeling myself and don't be positive anymore. So
it's not
I learned
serving anyone, is it, when you're not operating at your best? Of like, when you can't be happy for you, then you can't kind of turn up and really authentically be happy for that other person, or even happy to all of the friends and family around you. And it's like, when I see you, you have such spark, and to think that, that spark would ever be lost, it'd just be like, well, that's just not Laura. Like, she's just not operating in flow for her. So, having people that challenge you to be out of your comfort zone is amazing, because it's the way to grow. It really is the only way to grow. But it's also like, he's not a bad person for being the way that he is. And it's like, if he wants to remain in comfort zone and with that familiarity, like, and if his need is certainty, then then that's okay. Like he's going to make someone very happy who wants to settle down
Exactly.
and have all of that security, right?
Exactly. It's perfect. It's perfect. You want that, but I don't. And but I learned that. I learned what I wanted, what I didn't want anymore. I
Yeah.
learned to pick myself, to stop to put someone else before me. And
And
this
you
is I'm
committed to
really
that.
happy.
Like
Sorry,
you committed to that for, 3 years, like for your personality too, that you do get bored or you do like to move quickly. I think 3 years for somebody with that personality is quite a testimony to your name, like really. Um, and like
totally.
and bigger more so because there's so many people that are kind of good at sticking at that one thing, but like, yeah, I'm sure that would have been probably one of your biggest challenges to go like, oh my god, this hasn't changed like 3 years, what's going on?
Oh yeah, totally. I was, oh, okay, let's try again and again and again. It was, oh my God, how long did we try fucking again?
Mhm.
And at the end, he was done. And he was trying, oh no, promise I will change if we do that. I guess too late. Maybe if you believe it, and even if you begin to do it, something is break. And it's so good to be alone. I really decide to take a celibacy trip since that and take a few breaks inside because life brings gorgeous man on my way. But it's nice to be single. I don't know. I living alone. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. I can eat whatever I want. All the grocery I made are still in the fridge. No one pick it.
Totally.
And I'm just all those things. Just I can wake up at 5 in the morning to get the sunrise, and nobody will find this. This is weird. And my best friend do it with me sometimes. But I don't know. It's when I listen to all my friends, I was, oh yes, I have to do with this for my kid, and I got to my partner. Actually, at that, I was, I'm not ready to get back in a relationship anytime soon. I like too much the freedom to do whatever I want.
The
Just
cool
when I
thing
break up,
is,
my grandma's yeah,
no,
when I
you
break up,
go.
my grandmother says, oh, you will find someone else really soon. Just, I don't want any fucking one. Why do you think I want anyone? Just, it's a normal thing to have one person in my life. Ooh. And I'm around a lot of polyamorous people. So, yeah, why have one person when I have 5 or 10 or 6? I don't know.
You were such a gypsy soul. It's beautiful. It's beautiful too because I think you'll find that like when you have a like if or when you have a partner and that person comes in, I feel like they will meet you where you're at and you'll realize that, that freedom element will be so big in them too. But isn't it amazing to get that clarity before entering into like any kind of relationship, whether it's just friendship or with clients, like knowing what you value is just like, well, I don't want to be tied to a studio. I don't want to be tied to like a house or a location because like you could have an opportunity pop up and you strike me as a person who'd be like, yep, I'll make it work. I'll pack up my place and I'll move there to live there. So, if that's the stage of your life that you're at, like being by yourself and learning all of the yogic practices that you are, it's putting in such an awesome foundation for you because I can guarantee when people start to come in, they're going to be your greatest triggers. Like if there's
Totally.
like you don't do this work and then like anyone could kind of easily live alone. But it's when we get triggered by circumstances or people that the real practical application of our work comes in. Hey.
Totally. If you can't be uncomfortable in you where you are, this is how I see yoga. You go in a posture and it's uncomfortable, and you breathe in, and you try. Okay, this is become comfortable. This is how you put your feet behind your head. You just do it, accept it. It's not comfortable. Oh, one day it works. This is a secret. It's a sometimes this is yoga. This is yoga. Just you practice thing, and one day you realize this is why I go in Embodiment Yoga Principal. It's a yoga where you don't have postural. It's more principle. It's really different than traditional one, but it's do yoga for your life.
Yeah.
You get something. You observe how you act. You observe how you move. You observe embodiment. It's exactly that. Observe how you move, how you react in this situation, this one, and this is what you do every day in every situation, in every relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, now you know it. Now you can influence it if you accept it. But if you don't know, you can't do anything. So yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's good to be uncomfortable.
Yes, it
This
is
is
good
why
to
you
be
are.
uncomfortable. It's like growing pains of life, and you realize that you get through it and you can look back at it and go, that wasn't so bad. Like I was just a little bit like of a complainer, or it seemed really bad at the time, but I think you realize that you do have the strength to get through it. And I know that having your energy around as like a coach or a teacher or whatever kind of relationship or interaction you're having, I'm sure you would just make people feel like they can do it, of like, if it's just a minute, you can do it. Or if it's, if you're feeling pain here, you're gonna get through it and we're gonna get you there. And
Yeah, I
that's
can do
such
it.
yeah, you can do it.
And my favorite thing is you don't have to do anything I tell to you. I don't care. It's not my body. It's not my life. Don't do it for me. It will not change any fucking thing if you still do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that so many of my clients just do nothing. Come see me every single day and we'll be happy with that. No problem.
Amen, sister. I'm hearing you loud and clear there. What do you do to, like, what's your vibe out song if you're like running or if you're like in a real like dance mood? What's the song that you put on that gets you in a really happy state?
Oh my God. I learned to dance rockabilly jive, partner dance. And to me, this 50s rockabilly, the dresses and all of that, this is just joy. This is pure joy. It's a post-World War II music. You're in the 50s, 60s, contraception become a thing. It's just the whole revolution, sexual revolution. Women began to have curves, the dresses have become shorter. It's just this old vibe of let's get happy. We don't care about anything. So yeah.
You're just the best. I think like you've got like such a paradoxical nature, and I'm sure that people go like, I would not have picked that from you. Like I love all different types of music as well. And when you say, oh, like the 50s, I'm like, I can be into the 50s or I can be in the 20s or I can be in the 2000s. And it's all about environment, right? Like it's who we're around and who we can kind of vibe with to that moment. But I love that that's your kind of happy place. And I could totally picture you in like a red polka dot dress or something high-waisted where you just like,
I discovered this week we have a Christian Dior exposition from 50s dress in Montreal. And I was, oh my God, I just want to see the beautiful red dress from 50, 52. I was almost here.
yes.
I was saying that to my friend, just talk about fancy outfit from 50s. It was, you talk me about fashion right now, for real? Just, yes, I'm a big fashion fan.
Yes. Girl, what's your go-to sneaky soul food that you would go like that is your ultimate excitement when you come back to your apartment and you go like, oh yes, I am so just going to snuggle up on the couch and eat this and I feel really good?
Nuts. I'm vegan in life, and if you give me pistachio, this is my favorite thing in the world. Just a good pistachio, but they are expensive, so don't buy them too much. We are saying with my best friend, she was every woman has this menstruation thing that she eats. And she was talking, oh, this is ketchup lace. I was, me, it's pistachio. So it was two different kinds. You have the junk food and you have the healthy girl with the nuts. So I was, yep.
When you said pistachio, my mind instantly was like, oh, pistachio ice cream. I'm like, no, Lauren, just pistachio. It's fine.
I know. But my favorite thing in the world, where I'm a really big nerd, is tea, Japanese green tea.
Have you ever done a tea ceremony?
Yeah, I did matcha ceremony, tea ceremony.
Was
And
it
I have a
amazing?
tea master. I even plan to maybe move to Japan for 6 months just for learn about tea in a few years. This is my kind of person.
But what's your star sign?
My what?
What's your star sign?
My star, I'm Leo.
You're Leo, you're fire. Of course you are.
I'm yellow.
You're yellow and you've got the hair that's like, the lion. Of course you're a Leo. That makes complete sense. I would love to look through all the people that I've had on because I'm a Gemini, which is an air sign. And so I notice how my communication with people can really be like, rah, or it can really be grounded. And it's like when there's air and fire, that's naturally just going to be like,
wow, what's going on? We are talking about pistachio ice cream, not pistachio.
And people think they can't smile in life. Like we're literally talking about nuts. Like, how did we get here?
Always an attitude. It's everything an attitude. I was to wake up for an online class at 4 a.m. in the morning because it was UK time. Yeah. We end up at 5. I was chatting with people at the end and they was, oh, it's not really early. And I was, yes, but like I'm up. I can go catch the sunrise. I was, you're too positive. It's fucking 5 in the morning. Why you don't want to run for the sunrise? Most people don't. I was, yeah.
You know what? I reckon your energy is really like it probably helps with the way that you like eat too. So like having that really clean diet and having that other approach in your life. Like I'm sure you're human as well and have those times where you're not always eating perfect or like the most healthiest foods, but it does really help when we eat clean and you have that, you know, the cleanliness inside of your body so that all of the organs can function properly and your body's getting all of the nutrients it can to give you the burst of life, because so many people don't even know what it's like to feel good, so they can't relate to going, oh, I don't even know what like ecstatic joy feels like, because they're probably so unhealthy with in a lot of different areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. Food is really important. I try to do fasting. I do intermittent fasting every day, but sometimes I like, oh, let's go for 24 or 48 hours, but I don't handle myself at all. 48 hours, I don't focus and I'm jumping from an idea to another. And if you talk to me, I'm just, you can't follow the conversation. We should have a conversation after 2 days fasting together. It will be so much fun.
Babe, so, that'll be our catch up. If we catch up, it'll be like fasting, delirium, and I was going to say pistachios, but that defeats the whole purpose of fasting. Maybe that.
It's okay. We can close the fasting. But no, yeah, it's funny. But when I'm too up, I have to eat something to ground me. And in Quebec, we call poutine. So it's fries, cheese, and gravy. That's it. Ooh. It's a perfect winter thing.
We do that in Australia, and I haven't heard anybody else doing chips with cheese and gravy other than when I used to live in a different part of Australia, because I've moved around different parts of Australia, and people like cheese and gravy, I'm like, it's the best. It's like having popcorn with Maltesers, and it's having kind of the salty and the sweet. And I'm like, I'm all for those weird flavors.
It's a perfect late night hangover thing. And just you need to ground yourself after being too trippy and just being too much time in the forest and have too much fasting and just no. Let's back to basics.
Just chill. Hey,
Cheese, fries, and gravy.
what would you like recommend to our listeners and viewers if there was like one book to read, or if there was one activity to do, or a podcast to listen to? What would it be and why?
I'm a big groupie of Mark Walsh podcast, Embodiment podcast. You have a lot of stuff about so many things, and it's really interesting.
Could
Talk
you just
about
say
so
that
many
again, girly? Is it the Embodiment podcast?
podcasts. Yes, with Mark Walsh. To read, oh my goodness, you have so many good things to read. A last book I read and I really love is this one, Bodyfulness. What? Oh. This is my last one I really love. Bodyfulness for Christine Caldwell.
Can
this
you
is
just
an
call
excellent book.
Kristen who? Oh, Christine
Caldwell.
Cool.
It's a really excellent book. And the one I read right now and it blew my mind, it's Shinzen Young's Science of Alignment.
Yes.
I was taking a day off to relax and I read this book when you talk about everything is temporal and you're nothing and you're just a wave. And
it's mind-blowing, huh?
It's mind-blowing. My life changed in a day of, changed every day. But and to me, any activity, if you have one activity to do every single day, put your favorite music and dance. Like no one look at you. This is the secret weapon. If you want to move, just move, dance. I don't know.
Yes. What was your song today? Put it out there.
My last song today. My brain is blocked on one song those days. It's called A Girl Called Jazz.
Can you link it to me in Facebook?
Sure, I will send you. A Girl Called Jazz from Omido. It's sexy as hell. It's sensual hell. It's trappy. It's everything I love. And I'll send you that right away.
Beautiful. So I'm going to include all of Laura's. I just totally butchered it. I'm doing it. Laura. I'm just going to go.
Perfect.
Laura. I'm going to include all of her details in the show notes. But if you've listened to this whole thing or watched it, you know that Laura just loves to connect. She loves to be able to hear your story, to share her many incredible stories that I'm sure I've only heard like the tiniest bit of, that we've covered in an hour. But what is the best place for people to reach you, Laura? And like where do you respond from? The quickest?
Facebook is really efficient with me. Facebook, Instagram. I'm mostly posting in French, but you can always come talk to me and have a chat about anything. Amazing. Maybe one day I will be more in English.
Maybe you'll be here and we will be hanging out. Who knows?
Australia is somewhere in my future plan.
Look, it could be later in your year the way that you move. So who knows what will happen? Who knows what will bring you to your next place? I completely aborted the idea of saying, what are your plans moving forward? Because I'm sure you have a very loose grasp of that, and it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's open to, opportunity, which is really cool.
Yeah. My plan is to get my citizenship in Canada, and after that, the world is mine.
The world is already yours, baby. You've got this.
Yeah.
I've so enjoyed chatting to you, and I really, really appreciate you for making the time and giving your time and energy, like your incredible energy. So I look forward to staying in touch with you. And if you ever have anything that you're wanting to share or wanting to put out there to Australia or at, to the community at large and need a bit of like a solid base, you know who to get in contact with. Let me know, and we can try and get your stuff out there, with that little bit of teamwork. And I understand what your personality's like, and I love it. So yeah, safe with me.
Thank you.